Glenn Clark Radio. Talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuff and things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Glad we did the prepare thing. Glad we prepped. We're all ready to go.
We're playing.
Yes! I said we'll start. Oh, God.
And now the Orioles have the winning runs on base, and it's Ryan Mountcastle's turn. Mountcastle clobbers it to left. Down the line, it's foul.
Well, got a hanging slider and just hooked it foul.
A pitch that hasn't been hit for an extra base hit all year.
That'll make him take a deep breath.
That foul ball has awoken the fans here, even with Mountcastle down in a chasm against
courtesy of
Munoz.
Masson last night. That's how it sounded. Well-oiled machine. Told you we'd get to a 1-hour show, and then we would become a well-oiled machine.
You like throwing to things.
Yes, sometimes. But when I say we start with that,
You said we start each day this week. We said we start with
no.
David
topic-wise,
Ojabo.
not that. There's nothing to talk about Ryan Mountcastle hitting a foul ball.
We
There's
go
no
in.
topic.
Orioles lost yesterday.
Yes, we're aware. Everybody's aware. The Orioles lost 1-0. They got their ass
Everyone
kicked.
might not be, honestly.
They got their ass kicked.
No
Good
reason to
morning.
watch.
It's a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of
The
Glenn
pitcher's
Clark
going to go
Radio.
8 innings, and the team's still going to lose.
That's true. Dean Kramer. All right, anyway, hi. It's Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenny's Griffin. We have an intern that's been with Pressbox this summer. His name is Trevor. Trevor is on the hot seat today. Trevor, spill the beans, all the dirty secrets that you've learned. Today's the day to talk. Say everything that you've come across during your time here at Pressbox. What is it that, if you were the whistleblower, what would you be sharing?
Thanks for having me on, first of all. I don't know. I haven't learned too many secrets, honestly.
Failure.
No.
It's good to see you. Thank you for all your hard work this semester.
Thank you.
Tell everybody your story.
I'm from Columbia, Maryland, in Howard County, not too far away.
Yes, but you're a bad person.
Yeah, I'm a Washington, D.C. sports fan.
Tired
Sorry,
of
everybody. I'm
Because when
sorry.
you have the choice to root for a football team that was nothing but hell for 30 years, you just have to take that opportunity.
You know,
you have no choice.
When I was 5 years old, I put on that Sean Taylor jersey. I knew no better. I did not know better.
You're at Maryland?
Yes, I am going.
What are you looking to do with your life?
Trying to be probably a beat writer of some sort, hopefully for the DC Sports.
If they still exist.
Yeah,
If they
who knows?
Still exist. That's the unfortunate part about the nature of our business these days. It's just kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate everything that you've done here at Pressbox. When we get to this time, what we like to do is we like to present a thank you gift. And so I know you've been working for free, right?
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. You actually are going to get a copy of Michael Lombardi's Football Done Right.
Okay.
Wow.
There you go, in paperback as
Thank
a
you so
thank
much.
you. And then maybe you can find out where the F Michael Lombardi was when he was supposed to be on our show last week. So there you go. Look at that. You thought all of your work was for nothing, but it turns out that a lot of people have said the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard some people describe it as priceless.
Okay.
The paperback copy of Michael Lombardi's book, Football Done Right. And there it is. It's now yours.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Don't spend it all in one place.
Okay.
Don't just,
I'll try not to.
Don't shoot your wide, just reading it all at once. Make sure maybe a chapter at a time, and then you can spread it out across the year.
Yeah,
So
I got to space it out and then think about it a little bit.
100%.
Let it
Then
sink
you
in.
Remember the times that you spend. here at Press Box over the summer with that copy of Football Done Right by Michael Lombardi.
Thank you.
There
Thank you so
have
much.
it. Look at us over here. That we give and we give and we give and we give and we give. That's just who we are. We're good people. That's the nature of the business. And now we've just look at this young man. We just made his week. He thought he was getting nothing, and here he got a paperback book. What a day!
A godsend.
I feel like Oprah. You
What do
get
I
a
get?
book.
What do I get?
And you get nothing,
Oh.
and you get also nothing, but you get a book. It feels great. It feels great. All right, coming up on the program today, Evan Washburn's going to join us, international sideline sex symbol. He, of course, when he's not with CBS, working the
I got his title wrong then in the description.
yeah, working the Ravens preseason broadcast. We'll catch up with Evan and talk about what he is seeing. We're also going to chat with Steve Sands from the Golf Channel and NBC ahead of the start of the BMW Championship, round 1 tomorrow. Of course, you can already watch the practice runs. The Pro-Am is going on right now. I got a list of everybody participating in the program, and I swear to God, it
Can I
had
see it?
Nick Jonas on
What?
the list. But I don't know if it's like the real Nick Jonas or like some other. It is.
Do
It
we-
is.
do
I
we need
just
to reach
searched it.
out?
Apparently, all of the Jonas brothers are participating.
Is Demi Lovato here too?
I could not possibly tell you. The Jonas brothers are participating in some capacity, but Nick, I saw Nick's name on the Pro-Am list. I did not see the others' names. Maybe I just didn't scour it. But at least Nick and Kevin, according to Alex Parker of Fox 45, are currently on the range. Or 2 hours ago, were on the range at Caves. And I know that Nick is participating.
Good to
So
know.
there you go. Now you've changed your mind. Now Griffin's like, now I'm going to go.
I know. Wait a
The
minute.
Jonas brothers
We
are there.
how many do we have to give away?
Oh, yeah, we already gave away all of our tickets. Sorry.
I'll just
You're boned.
I'll just call it back.
Yeah, and let them know they can't go because Griffin wants to go watch the Jonas Brothers. I'm going to try to go out there after the show tomorrow for at least a little bit. They really screwed this up. They apparently didn't get the memo that I was doing the pig roast this weekend. Truth be told, I actually feel genuinely bad about it because it's the opposite of that. The last time they did this event, it was definitely later in August. And so when I scheduled Pig Roast weekend, I did not look at it. Now I feel terrible because we do want to support all these events in our community. So
It's a busy weekend. There's just too many things
Kind of a
going on.
jerk. Oh, yeah, TNA's in town this
And
weekend.
the Glen Pig Roast.
I'm roasting a pig, throwing a big party. Trevor, you ever played Flip Cup?
No, I don't think so.
You've never played Flip Cup.
You've
What the hell do the young people do now?
Don't play flip cup. I
What
guess.
what are the games
You guys
that
are
young
missing
people,
out,
what are the
dude.
drinking games that young people play these days?
Beer pong.
Well, okay, well, we all play beer pong. Is that it?
Die. You guys play Die still?
Rage. Do you know what Rage
I
is?
don't know what Rage is. What is Rage?
I hardly know what it is.
Okay.
It's like you have to bounce a ball into a cup, but it's not beer pong. So you have to bounce it, and then it's kind of hard to explain. You pass the cup to the next person, and at the end, the person that loses has to drink the middle cup, which has a lot.
It sounds like
That's
King, It sounds
chandelier.
like King Cup.
Oh, we called it chandelier.
Yeah, it might be the same thing. but
yeah,
it
all
might just
right.
have a
I mean,
different
we all
name.
played
Yeah,
some,
so-
but you don't play like Flip Cup is dead.
I don't. Yeah, I think so. I've
What
never
the hell
seen
happened
anybody.
here?
I don't know.
Flip Cup was a staple because you didn't need much space for playing Flip Cup, and more people could play than could play beer pong. You could put like
Right.
6 people on either side of the table.
People
You
still
never-
play beer die or like.
Yeah.
Griffin's
yes.
acting like, oh, I'm my old age.
I
I'm not sure I'm
mean-
up with the young people and what they're doing. He's like
But yeah, if
3
they're not doing
years
Flip
older
Cup,
than
I mean,
you.
I don't know what's on.
God. We play an amazing game called Slip Cup,
Oh.
which is even better. You gonna play this year, Griffin? What is it? You're young. We need you. I need to recruit
Yeah, but
you.
you guys are all, you know.
No. Stop that. I got my kids playing, in fact. No.
Well, they're cool.
It should. Yeah, I agree with that. They're way cooler than you. Why don't you play Flip Cup or Slip Cup? Sorry. What is that?
I get 30.
So what? We got hoses. We got showers. You can change clothes.
I gotta be ready. It's a big day.
For what?
Ravens preseason later.
You gonna watch at home?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? Play Slip Cup this year.
Well,
What is that? Why do you keep saying meh? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? What are these guttural noises that you're making that mean nothing?
It's a lot of work.
It's not a lot of work.
Well,
It's not at
slide
all a
down
lot
the
of work.
thing, You know,
What?
slide down the thing. You know.
Yes,
it's
and then
a
flip a
lot.
cup. That's the list of things.
I can't risk getting injured.
Oh, injured. We've been doing this for 30 years. Nobody's gotten injured.
Didn't Tim have like a bruise or
You
something?
get bruised. Yeah, Tim
Or you got bruised. Who
Yeah,
got
everybody gets bruised. Yeah, we all get
Can't-
bruises.
can't.
So what? Because you're going to start your modeling
John's
career?
trying to say flip cup is lame.
What the hell is going on in the
don't know.
world?
I disagree with that. you know.
What is happening here? John Little Rock saying flip cup is lame. Get out of here. Oh, I'm sure your games were so cool. What was John
Yeah,
playing
what
in
was
high
John
school,
playing?
college? God. You're out of your mind. Play slip cup. Do it. Get your friends to play. We need more people to play.
We'll see.
What do you mean we'll see? That's just you trying to push it off and think that I'll forget about it.
It's a lot going on, you know.
No, there's not a lot going on.
BMW Championship, which I'm interested in now.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Demi Lovato's
all of a
gonna be
sudden
there.
you want to go. You don't even know if Demi Lovato's here.
Yeah, but she might if the Jonas Brothers are.
Yeah, but you don't know that. She could be out touring or doing something. I don't know. Get out of here. You annoy me. You're really annoying. Trevor, you want to come play slip cup on? Are you of legal drinking age?
No.
Well, boys aren't either, so.
It's true. We can have you play with water. You could definitely have you play with water.
Yeah. Sign me
You
up.
can come show up. I can give you a minute. Come play. If you promise to come play slip cup, will you play slip cup?
Promise. Promise is a strong word.
No. This is important. I need a commitment. We need to know we got people. We want to have real competition here. All you got to do is go down a slip and slide. Sounds pretty great to begin with.
Okay.
And at the bottom, you play flip cup. And it's a relay race, and the next person goes.
Yeah, it's like flip cup.
That does sound pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It couldn't be more fun. But this guy's an asshole.
You know.
I'll invite you. You want to come Saturday? You want to come to the party?
What time is it?
All day.
Yeah.
This guy sounds like everybody else. Like, tell me what time it is so I can think of an excuse for why I
So much
can't
going
come.
on.
I've been through this with a million people. God.
Got to mow the grass probably.
I don't know what happened to us during the pandemic, but something. I used to throw these parties, and there'd be 300 people at my house. Legitimate, straight shoot, 300 people. The year after the pandemic, it's never been the same. Everybody's like, oh, because your friends are getting older. I'm like, no. We've changed as a society. There's nothing we enjoy more than not doing things.
Maybe start paying people and
We
they'll show up.
love to not do things. And I see all of your games. The moment one of you responds, hey, what time? I know what you're thinking.
Oh.
You know you've got something on the calendar at some point during the day, and you're praying that I'm going to say, oh, well, get up there at 4, and you'd be like, that's too bad. Like, I've got to. No. You don't actually care what time you want me to. You just want to come up with a way that you don't have to feel bad about saying you can't be there. I know your game. If the first thing you say is, I'll be there, then you say what time, then I know what you're doing. If the first thing you say is what time,
I'll be there.
You're looking for an excuse. Yeah, but you're not going to play slip cup.
Oh, so do you want me to come? All right, I guess I won't.
I want you to come, but I want you to play slip cup because you're young. We need young people. It's a bunch of old. I was about to use the F word. I'm not going to do that. We need young people. What happened to this
John
segment?
Little Rock said he would be there if he was
John, fly up from Arkansas.
if he was in Maryland.
Come up for the weekend. You gonna come play slip cup?
I actually do have a wedding to go to on Saturday.
What time?
Congratulations.
4 o'clock.
You can come by earlier, but listen to you. I know people. I've got friends. I'm Trevor. All right, quickly because we already lost the entirety of the first segment.
I wasn't sure if I should
yeah,
jump in. And
Yeah,
say,
my
Are we
fault.
trying to do something here?
The Orioles lost 1-0. Dean Kramer doing. By the way, we have a live update. Got our top baseball analyst to break down Dean Kramer and what you can expect from him.
Of course. Now I'm ready.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Thank you. One day, we're gonna give you the
There's
shit.
a lot of moving parts.
One
So
day.
it's, you know.
Dean Kramer goes 8 innings, allows 1 run on 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and loses because the Orioles couldn't score a run. As we heard earlier, they damn near did in the 9th inning, but didn't. Didn't happen. Ryan Mountcastle with a loud foul ball. They still don't have a walk-off win this season. And because we could use some good news, interim manager Tony Mansolino provided some yesterday.
I'll start with Grayson. Successful surgery. Everything went good. He will rehab in Sarasota. Likely be ready for spring training. Should be good to go for there. We got Zach Eflin will have a lower back procedure here. I think next week is where that's coming up or soon. He's done for the year and he will stay at home in rehab. And then Felix has an appointment later this week. It is a significant shoulder injury. He is done for the year. And then we will have another update on him probably another week or so.
Awesome. For Felix. Super. Couldn't be better.
Said hopefully spring training, for Grayson. So maybe he will touch a baseball again.
I mean, wait a minute. Wait a second here. The Felix Bautista thing obviously is more discouraging there because when you hear significant shoulder, it just kind of makes you think boy, it might not be next year either. And for as deflating as everything has been this season, this piles on to is it going to be next year? And as you know, I'm of the opinion that it's not going to be. And if you add in a significant injury that sidelines Felix Bautista, you needed Felix Bautista to be getting back to Felix Bautista next year. Now you're talking about a scenario you might not even have this version of Felix Bautista next year. That is utterly disheartening. As far as Zach Eflin is concerned, it likely means that there's no world in which he can do better than a qualifying offer. The question really becomes, if you're the Orioles, is it worth the risk of giving him the qualifying offer? And as we always say, this is what $20 million gets you pitching-wise, is risks. It doesn't get you surefire, it gets you risks. So do I still think it's worth giving Zach Eflin the qualifying offer? Yeah, probably is. It's also not my money. In that world, you're giving Zach Eflin the qualifying offer, and you're doing better than that. You're prioritizing pitchers that are more of a sure thing than Zach Eflin. That money that you give Zach Eflin is the third most money that you're giving to a pitcher this offseason. But that's in my world. The Orioles have never done that. So what will they do? To be determined. Is it worth it? I still think it's worth taking a flyer on it if you're not expecting Zach Eflin to be your number 1 or number 2 starter next year. Will they? I have no idea what they're going to do. It's one of the more infuriating things that we're dealing with right now, is trying to figure out what the Orioles are, what their plans are. Who freaking knows? Fun times. Fun times, man. Fun times. We'll see how everything plays out. Quickly, the top story today, my Above the Fold, was going to be about Daniel Faalele. We can spend a minute on it anyway. Todd Monk, of course, Daniel Faalele, do you have the play from the game last Thursday night? This has gotten a lot of attention. Daniel Faalele, and I don't even remember who he was up against, and I apologize. But he just gets overwhelmed. Daniel Faalele plays 12 snaps in a preseason game. In those 12 snaps, 5 were passing snaps, 7 were rushing snaps. And PFF graded him as a 0.0 for those 5 pass blocking snaps. Now, as been pointed out, that sample size is so small that if he gets a downgrade, I think the word was he got a downgrade on 2 of those plays, then there's nothing that he can do in the other 3 plays that can make up for it. It's just such a small sample size. But a downgrade on 2 particular plays. He was given a 62.9 run blocking grade for 7 snaps. Todd Monken yesterday tried to explain why he believes you're overreacting when it comes to Daniel Faalele, and I greatly enjoyed this from Todd Monken.
I'm not naive to seeing those things, but it was one play. That was one example. I can't imagine any of us. One example of something in our life, and that's who they are. That's the silliest shit I've ever heard in my life. It's just the way it is. World we live in, right? It's the world we live in. And he's a tremendous football player, really is, and I love where he's come. But I get it, they have to live it more than me. I'm used to it. I'm not naive to seeing those things.
There you go. And he's right specifically about this topic. And this is sort of what's happened in the world where everybody's a film analyst now on Twitter, which is it's very easy, put out something, everyone overreacts to that one thing, and it becomes a narrative. Daniel Faalele is certainly not an outstanding starting offensive lineman. And I'm not even the type that thinks that PFF is Bible, but obviously, particularly for offensive linemen, we don't have a lot of numbers to work with. A year ago, Daniel Faalele played 1,100 snaps. He was given a 60.5 overall grade by PFF, which was 43rd out of 59 guards in the NFL that qualified, had enough snaps to qualify. His pass block grade was 63.2, which was 39th. His run block grade was 58.5, which was 43rd. He committed 6 penalties during the season. We also know that given what the Ravens had been dealing with, Daniel Faalele was oddly stabilizing, which is kind of the weird part about it. Like, they had done worse than Daniel Faalele. And so I'm not sure how to have this conversation. Do I think the Ravens could have done better than Daniel Faalele? Perhaps. Like, if they had gone offensive line in the first round, they might have been able to find someone they could have convinced themselves was a starter. Now, that might have... I don't know how they would have viewed Faalele versus Andrew Voorhees and who would have been the starter, who would have been fighting for a spot. But is Daniel Faalele as bad as some of you make him out to be? There's no chance. Like, this is just hyperbole for the sake of attention on social media. Oh, Daniel Faalele is terrible. No, he's a capable NFL offensive lineman. Could the Ravens be better at the position? It's a more complicated conversation. Let's talk about that and more. Joining us now, one of our friends. You, of course, see him all throughout the season on CBS, but during the preseason, he's right here at home as he's part of the Ravens broadcast team and will be down in Dallas on Saturday on WBAL. He is our friend Evan Washburn, and he is back with us now here on GCR. Evan, it's Glenn. It's always good to catch up, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Yeah, good to be with you guys. Feels like it's football season if we're arguing about a right guard here.
Oh, boy.
August 13th. It's happening. We're there.
That's what we got. I have a quick question first, Evan, because you're slightly younger than I am, but not a ton. We're closer in age. I've got a young person, an intern in studio this morning, who just informed me that, like, college kids don't play flip cup anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, that reaction... Your reaction is the same reaction I just had. What the hell has happened to us as a society?
Well, I guess I would only be less disturbed if they've replaced it with something equally, if not more, fun.
Essentially,
we're not doing.
Yeah, basically, he just said all they play is the same games that we played when we were in college. Like, it's just, beer pong and, whatever you want to call it, chandelier, king cup. Like, they play all those games. They just specifically don't play flip cup, which...
Interesting.
Yeah.
And was there a reason why?
Yeah, Trevor.
Yeah, hi, Evan. Not as far as I can tell, honestly. I could not tell you. I don't know.
You just never started doing it.
Basically, yeah.
That's so weird to me. I'm glad your reaction was the same as mine.
You're missing out. I would say it's not as sort of... It's a bit more aggressive than beer pong and maybe some of the others, but it's the quickest way to get the juices flowing and the competitive spirit alive.
I completely agree on this topic, and you can have more people involved when you play flip cup than when you play.
That's quicker. A game's over, and you can play 2 games and
100%.
Time and it's got 5 minutes.
Thank you. I'm glad that you and I could get to the bottom of this topic and shame this young man.
All right, well, it's been good to be with you.
Yeah, right.
Guys.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Evan, I don't know what there is to say about Daniel Faalele. Yeah, he had 2 really bad looks during the Colts game. I don't think Daniel Faalele is an all-pro, but I think he was a stabilizing force for the Ravens a year ago. I also trust the Ravens at the guard position. If they get into the year, it's not working out with Daniel Faalele. My gut is someone they drafted is going to prove to be a capable guard. It's sort of where I am with Andrew Voorhees. These topics concern me. Like, I'm far more concerned about, like, what if Ronnie Stanley were to get hurt again than I am. This is the Ravens in the guard position. If there's something that I have trust in, it's the Ravens in the guard position.
I think it's completely fair. And I was half kidding at the front end of all this, that these are the type of storylines that 30, maybe 29 other teams around the NFL would be dreaming of heading into the season, because this is your biggest concern, that a extremely large human being who's proven capable of playing NFL offensive line is maybe growing into the position as we're still almost a month out from week 1, or a little less than a month out from week 1. So yeah, be happy where you are, Ravens fans, if this is your biggest concern. That said, it's always going to be one of those areas where I find it's hard for us as even educated fans and talking heads, media, however you want to describe us, to really evaluate, because offensive line, I think, is one of the hardest positions. Yes, if it's obvious a guy's getting beat, then you may be able to say they had a tough rep or play or game. But over the course of 4 quarters or a few weeks, I tend to lean on those that do it every day and do it for a living, especially at those positions.
Evan, where are you with David Ajabo at this point? And I say like I haven't written him off, but I do think that the math might not be in his favor. It's easy to say, hey, these are important games for him. I don't even know, short of injury, if there really is a roster spot for David Ajabo.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that play on Thursday night was just unbelievable in terms of like bringing echoes back of Bart Scott on Ben Roethlisberger. So you do see, obviously, that's not something you count on week in and week out. And it may have been more on the offense than anything Ajabo or the Ravens did defensively. But I think it's a situation where it's a roster that, yes, at that position, while still maybe not completely proven to the elite level, has a lot of options, both in recent draft picks and then obviously the frontline starters in Van Noy and Oweh. So I'm not sure it's as cut and dry as maybe you think it is, but it's definitely an uphill climb. Maybe that's a fair way of characterizing it. And I also think that they seem to, over the years, find ways to make these roster good problems almost work out in their favor via practice squad or finding ways to keep guys around.
We're chatting with Evan Washburn, of course, is part of the Ravens broadcast team, and will be in action on Saturday night for Ravens Cowboys down in Dallas. And I agree with what you're saying, and I hope it doesn't come off as me saying I think there's no chance, as much as like I just think there's a practicality problem there, right? And like it's weird because there's also the same part of me that knows the Ravens don't like giving up on early round picks, right? They don't like just losing assets. So I think they're going to choose to value that, but boy, it's hard, particularly with edge rushers, because they just don't play special teams, right? Like it's hard to put David Ajabo on the roster if he's not going to be one of the top guys, in comparison to, say, like an extra sixth wide receiver or another cornerback who would have a special teams role.
It's completely fair, and I think that it becomes the real discussion point this time of year, where it's all right, what are we doing in these position groups, and it really falls down on special teams. I think that the expansion of the practice squad, does David Ajabo's value across the league, is it something that they would have to be concerned with if they were to put him in a waiver situation? Would he get scooped up immediately? I don't know.
You can't help but think that there's somebody out in Seattle that might be willing to
that's interesting. That's fair.
Maybe try to grab
Look,
him.
again, similar to the right guard situation.
Right.
Good problem to have, that you have a player who's been through a lot over the course of a couple of years, that at his high end, his ceiling is somebody that absolutely should be on this roster and has shown flashes to make plays. But based off of the depth in that room, and as you laid out, and a lack of special teams availability or productivity, that it becomes your bubble world is real.
Staying on the micro side, Evan, what specifically are you still interested in over the course? And I know that a lot of your work involves interviewing guys, and you don't always get to pay complete attention to every play on the field. But what else are you interested in seeing between now and when the regular season starts on the micro side?
Oof. Man, I wish I had a good answer for you. I mean, really, it's just the kicker.
Yeah, no, I get it. Right.
He's the only guy playing. None of this matters, man. The games really don't matter, and it's a bummer. The preseason, I know I'm probably digging up old stuff of just people saying we got to figure this out, but it really has gotten to a place where the idea that there's 3 of these things, to me, is unfortunate. Like, the joint practices are where it's at, man. Like that needs to be on TV. That's what fans deserve to be watching Saturday night. And I respect that for a lot of players, it is an important aspect, and that's what we try to do over the course of the broadcast and in some of these small position battles and depth positions. But for what you're asking me and what people really care about, which is what's going on with this team when they square off against Buffalo, and what's happening in November and December when the things really start to turn up. I'm not sure anything coming out of this experience, whether it be Dallas Saturday night, outside of, I do think watching Tyler Loop and what he's going through, and not just what he physically can do and is capable of in terms of range, but the ups and downs. And we even saw it Thursday when he misses one and then comes back and gets one. Like his story is going to be one that I think is going to be a really big aspect to this team's season, because they're going to be in huge games and they're going to be in tight games, and he's going to have to do it in critical moments. And not that Saturday or the following Saturday in Washington's going to provide those, but at least we start to get a little feel for what this dude's about.
No doubt. We're going to overanalyze every kick all season, until they either win a Super Bowl or he's not the kicker anymore. We are going to overanalyze this cat, everything he does, and every kick he makes. The macro, of course.
It's going to be fun, too, to see how, because he clearly has a personality and a swagger to him and a confidence, but how that grows and permeates its way through the team. And that, again, can't happen until he's doing it in games that really matter and moments that matter. But that's so much part of the DNA of this team, even as potent as they are offensively, the fact that for all these years, they kind of get near that 50. Like it's part of the conversation.
Evan, the macro obviously is what can we learn about this team that might make the results different in the postseason? And I don't know the answer to that. To me, I've continued to say that like the biggest X factor is Mike Green, because as much as they need to stop turning the ball over in the postseason, they also don't generate big plays typically in the postseason. The Steelers game last year, they did a little bit. But that's really the only game that they've generated any big defensive plays since Lamar Jackson's been the quarterback of this franchise. I don't want to put everything on this young man. He's a second-round pick. That's way too much. But, boy, it has felt like that's been like the big missing piece for this team to me in coming together to be a complete championship team. As good as Kyle Van Noy has been, as good as Dafeoe was last year, they just haven't had a wrecker to make those truly game-changing plays in the biggest games, and I'm kind of watching Mike Green a little bit for that.
That's fun. I like that. And he's going to have to prove that obviously over the course of 17 games, and his development. It's going to be much like with Tyler Loop, like one of these rookies that on a team that's loaded with proven vets and Pro Bowlers and all pros, there are some rookies that are going to need to step up. I think similarly, if you want to stay with that sort of playmaking on the defensive side of the ball theme, I think that's where that back end becomes so interesting too. And as we often hear, the rush marries the coverage and all those things. So Mike Green and Owe and Van Noy and everybody getting after the passer is important, but the addition of Jair Alexander and Malachi, his development, keeping with that rookies idea, I view those guys as playmakers. I mean, they make plays, and Marlon does what he does, and Nate Wiggins can also do that. But I think maybe some of those new pieces and additions to a secondary with Kyle Hamilton, who's that ultimate chess piece, keeping with your idea that if that's kind of going to help you get over the hurdle on top of not turning the ball over, those are guys to ID as well. But I think more keeping that macro theme, and yes, playmaking is important, but it's really just about making sure you're back in the mix. And that's what's so challenging when talking about this Ravens team, and it's what people in Buffalo also have to deal with. You can't rush the process as much as I think everybody would want to, just from an entertainment standpoint. Like, can we just get to January already? And the fact that it's only August 13th makes that really challenging. The season does provide the natural kind of momentum, and there'll be enough drama, both positive and negative, to keep everyone engaged. But the reality is, not to the degree as none of it matters in the preseason, but in some respects,
it's
the regular season
dude,
has that too.
It's so weird, right? Like, it's such a weird thing where I try to, and I know John Harbaugh got a lot of flack for what he said to Ryan and Garrett about his response to the Super Bowl or bust thing, and I was like, I do want to hear the coach say, hey, all we care about is winning Super Bowl. I do think that's what the organizations say. But all of us that are living it know how fortunate we are that we get to watch Lamar Jackson play football every Sunday, right? Like, we need to remember that, like, even if you're a fan and you're frustrated that they haven't won a championship, this is better than what it's been like to be a football fan in Tennessee or insert any number of places. Or, you know, those of us that grew up like and didn't have a football team, right? Like, we have to be able to take joy in that. But there's no doubt, everything that we watch, we're watching with that thought of, but what is it going to be in the postseason? Like, it's just the reality of what's going on here.
Consistency when it doesn't include a Super Bowl
right.
is boring, or Super Bowl appearances. It can become boring for fan bases and even those that cover teams, because sometimes the variance, the roller coaster, creates this joy and then this complete sort of despair and then the build back up, all those things. I mean, this is what makes storytelling so engaging. And as much as this is real life, it is also the high drama that is reality television on display when it comes to the NFL. And that's what I respect and look at from John Harbaugh's perspective as probably his greatest challenge amongst all the things he's got to do running this organization or this team, is he has to make sure that his players, his coaches don't get caught up in this idea, this mounting pressure that if we don't win a Super Bowl, then this season's considered a failure. Because you can feel that tension with this team the last couple of years, whether it was in an AFC Championship game or last year in Buffalo. And I think if nothing else this season, they've got to find a way to ride the wave without it becoming this mounting tension and solely focusing on the end game and the result. And that's going to be the hardest thing, because it's going to be in their ear and in front of their face every step along the way. And that's what's going to be required to kind of push through.
You're 21 again. You're in the Delaware Lacrosse House. Your life is on the line. You have to win one drinking game. What is the game that you are going with?
Oof. I mean, Flip Cup's on the mind. I realized that, and this is not the, since it was Trevor, right? Is it Trevor?
Yes, young Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor, you're not playing this, but if you ever do, make sure that there's some beer on the table so it adheses when the flip. That was always the key, because you flip it on a dry, slick table.
Yeah, you got that risk. That's a great point. That's
a great point. But if you put a little some beer down or even some water down, then that cup it grabs it. So when you kind of had that magic going, that was as fun as it got. But look, you can't go wrong with beer pong. It was, as a pseudo athlete, or at least attempting to be one for much of my life, there was some, and a basketball player, like there was some fun to that. So I think to answer your question, as fun as Flip Cup is, and it's disappointing that this younger generation just continues to disappoint us.
Correct.
But
let us down.
Can't go wrong with some beer pong.
Evan Washburn, Saturday night, Ravens Cowboys on WBAL. Always appreciate you, brother. We will talk to you very soon. Thank you for taking the time.
Got it. Good to be with you, Glenn. See you, fellas.
That's Evan Washburn with us here on GCR. Today's show also brought to you by County Sports Zone, countysports.zone. We are just days away from the start of high school sports season for the fall. Every score, every schedule, every ranking, every update that you could possibly need to know about every team all throughout the state, they've got you covered. Countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. By the way, we got like a John fight going on this morning between John in Little Rock and John Proctor. Ooh. John in Little Rock taking shots at Flip Cup. John Proctor prepared to fight him. Prepared to fight, going right after him. Said, you know what's lame? Arkansas. I'm enjoying this greatly. I'm enjoying this John fight. It's making me very happy. He then followed up and said, oh, you know what? I was on vacation last week. I didn't listen in. Sorry. I was going to suggest that since Jeremy Connor's having the worst summer, the next lowest score in the Women's Soccer Challenge take the punishment, whoever that is. Now, who would that be?
That would be, I think me and Kyle actually tied.
Oh, okay. I think that might be the right thing to do. Jeremy's going through surgery. You step up. You say, you know what? We don't want to put that on him. Hey, you know what? You can just play Slip Cup instead. We'll come back in. We will we'll chat about the BMW Championship. It's getting underway tomorrow out at Cayos Valley. Steve Sands from NBC and the Golf Channel joins us next on GCR.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolko profiles Ravens running back Derrick Henry and how the football legend has proven to be a unicorn at the position with the success that he's found after the age of 30. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg looks at Kobe Mayo's push to find rhythm at the big league level. And we mark the start of the college football season by meeting players from all 4 FBS and FCS programs throughout the state. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. The scenarios are up at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter for you to get in and respond. And somebody is winning a pair of tickets to tomorrow's Orioles-Mariners game. So you need to respond fairly quickly today. You need to get in. We need to pick a winner by 4 o'clock. So normally we give you a full 24 hours. Today we've got to pick a winner by 4 p.m. So get in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. Those are the ways for you to respond for Would You Rather Wednesday. We'll go over them here in a second. Somebody will win a pair of tickets for Orioles-Mariners tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. I get it. Not everybody can go. I understand that. So we got to try to move through it quickly. We're basically canceling all of Griffin's plans. He's going to have to spend the afternoon combing through everybody who responded to figure out who wants the tickets. That's the way it's going to go. Got to get in. Get in by 4, and you can win the tickets for tomorrow's game. Today's show is also brought to you, a reminder that Stan the Fan Charles, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson, they get together every Monday talking baseball. You can watch it live, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, PressBoxOnline.com/video. Stan shows, if you missed it this Monday, they're always brought to you by our friends at the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn that's now open at the grandstand in Timonium, right there at the track. We love Costas Inn. It's everything that you know and love about the OG, the original Costas Inn on North Point Boulevard, just with the only exception being they don't do steamed crabs at the new Costas Inn. Everything else on the menu. I have told you about the crab jalapeno poppers. They are so good. That chilled seafood tower, all of it available at the new Costas Inn. But if you want steamed crabs, you got to go to the OG Costas Inn on North Point Boulevard. That's the only difference. Go check out the new one now open at the grandstand in Timonium. All right, while we try to track down and figure out where Steve Sands is, maybe he's hanging out with the Jonas Brothers. I mean,
Guess
perhaps.
I wasn't gonna blame him. Is that better than us though?
You know, it's funny. I was a nothing towards the Jonas Brothers, like, because they like broke up for a while, right?
I guess so.
In their
Went
first run, they meant nothing to me. Like, they didn't exist to me. I didn't know any of their songs.
Clearly didn't watch Camp Rock.
I was only vaguely familiar with like their Disney Channel relationship. I knew zero about the Jonas Brothers. And then when they came back and everybody was making a big deal out of it, and I was just like, I don't even know who these guys are. I have no idea. I would like hear a song every now and then. I'd be like, oh, this is okay. Like, was that Waffle House song? That song's all right. I mean, it's stupid, but like, it's an okay song. It's a bop. You can sing along to that. You can have a good time. I don't know that I could name any other songs that the Jonas Brothers do. Hang on a second. I'm looking up the Jonas Brothers now. Jonas Brothers. Can I name any other of their songs?
Oh, cool. They're in Hershey this weekend.
That's probably why they're here. The timing worked out well. Oh, the Sucker. I'm a sucker for you. That's Sucker, right?
Yeah.
Right? That song's not that great. That's okay at most. I don't know who any of these other songs are that are on the No Time. These must be all new songs. How does that work with Spotify? Why do those songs show up at the highest on Spotify?
Oh yeah, the year 3000, of course. That one was a banger.
It was year 3000.
That was.
Oh,
that
What
was
a Man
like
Gotta Do. That song's a
Disney
jam,
Channel.
actually. I really like that song. What a man gotta do. What a man gotta do to get totally locked up. That song's a bop. I like that song. But that's it. That's the list of my Jonas Brothers. I got nothing else for you on that. So I guess that's what Steve Sands is doing. He's just too busy hanging out with the Jonas Brothers to make an appearance here on GCR.
Luke said Luke Jackson had a good one. The line in Werewolves of London, his hair was perfect. It's actually about Evan.
I mean, really, it does have perfect hair, doesn't he? He really does. Very handsome gentleman. Evan was like Brent Harris's intern, more or less, at Comcast years ago, and like he's the nicest guy on the face of the planet, as you can tell from any conversation you have with him. And like he would just show up like a room, and Brent's a fairly good-looking guy, but like Evan would show up, and then you'd look at the rest of us mongoloids that were on the beat at the time, like. You know, I don't want to. Drew was never on the beat. I mean, he would show up from time to time, but he was never on the beat. I don't want to say anybody's name because then they're gonna hear me calling them mongoloids. I don't want to do that.
Do you think they
but
disagree? Or?
He definitely stood out amongst the group. There was all of us, and Brent was definitely the best looking of that group, and then Evan showed up, and you were like, oh. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be doing something else? And it didn't take long for him to end up doing something else. Did not take long at all for that to be the case. All right, let's go over Would You Rather Wednesday in the meantime. Trevor, you can give your responses as well. We'll see how you do with this.
Okay.
Again, get your responses in by 4 o'clock so you can be registered to win this pair of Orioles tickets for tomorrow. Oh, Practitioner says his go-to if his life was on the line would be playing quarters. I was never good at quarters. I'm assuming they don't play quarters.
No, I'm not familiar.
Quarters.
We played quarters. I'm not very good at it. I am not.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It seems tough.
I would say that.
Yes, there's people that are good at it, but
yeah, I mean people that play a lot. You have to play a lot to be good at quarters. I'm trying to think of other drinking games that we played. We always did. When you want to get the job done quickly, we did beer boxing. which was just as simple as shots of beer. You'd have 2 shots that you constantly fill up, and you would legitimately both have dice, roll them, and whoever's number was lower had to take the shot, and then you just kept going. There was no stopping.
We played. We liked playing when we had to get the job done quick. We played That's Good Water. And then, I mean, this might be a game that other people have different names for, but it was like we'd have 4 shot glasses lined up, and like one or two would be vodka, and then 1 or 2 would be water, and then you just like you take a shot and you say, "Oh, that's good water," and you have to try to trick everybody to thinking that you had the water shot, and you might have had the vodka shot.
Okay.
And you're trying to,
I was gonna say, where does the game come into play? When you're describing it, I'm like, that doesn't sound like a game as much as just doing shots.
And the person that has to guess, if they get it wrong, then they got to do a real shot as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they get it wrong,
the person guessing, yeah.
So if they get, wait, so they take the shot.
Yeah. So me and you.
Yeah.
So Trevor probably poured the shots. We'll say that. So he knows which one is which, and then I take it.
Oh, so you don't find out by.
So I take it and I go, that's good water,
Right.
or maybe it's hopefully we're getting bottom shelf vodka here, so I take it and I go, that's good water,
right? And everybody's like, obviously that's not.
Yeah.
So then the next person does,
and then you say, oh well, that was vodka, and then if
that's the game.
Yeah.
I thought the game was like you now knew there was only 1 vodka and 2 waters, and so
that too. I mean, and then we quickly reset things once the.
I'm gonna be honest. This sounds like it sucks.
We're just taking. I mean,
this sounds to me like
it
sucks.
Worked for us.
Proctor used to like playing Cheers Governor a lot.
Oh, I do remember. I played that one a few times.
Cheers Governor is a lot of fun, but you got to have a certain number of people in order for it to work.
Because it's very involved.
It was usually on Pig Roast Day the way that we would wind down the evening. Okay. Like when you got to the point of the night where you were like, we got to start wrapping this up, you would suggest we played Cheers Governor. Like that was the way that it would go. But you need, I'd say, at least 8 people in order to make it a justifiable game. Trying to think of other games that I can't remember college, man. Ask me to remember games we played in college. We just played a lot of flip cup and beer pong in college, mostly. What other games? We played a lot of card games. But you can't, your life on the line, you can't play a card game with your life on the line. Because there's too much luck involved.
I'll play blackjack.
That's the argument about.
I'm blackjack.
That's the problem with Flip Cup is like you need a team, right? Do I get to draft my team if my life is on the line?
We like to play Thunderstruck sometimes, so we play Thunderstruck by AC/DC, and everyone is chugging their beer, or you're chugging your beer until you hear thunder said in the song, and then the next person starts chugging.
Okay.
And then they hear thunder again.
Again, that's not really a game as much as it's an activity.
So sometimes
it's fun. Don't get me wrong.
It
sounds like a lot of fun.
One person's gonna have to finish their beer, and then a couple people are gonna be thunder.
Yeah.
Thunder back to back. So it's a short sip. I like playing that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. It's again not a game. Not a game. Just a fun activity, and I'm okay. What were the other games in Beer Fest? Because I remember there was another game that they played in Beer Fest, and I can't think of what it is. Oh, is that Steve Sands? All right. Well, we can still make time for Steve Sands. This was time well spent. It's not going to be a 1-hour show today. For you, all you that were complaining, today's not going to be a 1-hour show because we had to get to the bottom of the drinking games that the young people are playing. We had to solve that problem, even though neither one of these assholes is going to come play the Slip Cup on Saturday. That's the way that it's going to go. What is going on? What is?
Can you hear me okay?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening over there. Are we good?
I think so.
It sounded like.
I think we were breaking up too.
Oh, that doesn't sound like. That might be a cell service issue at Caves Valley.
That's correct. That could also be the case.
That might be the reason why he couldn't answer the phone is because he didn't know his phone was ringing. Oh, that's a problem. I was going to make a phone call happen while I was at the golf course tomorrow. Perhaps that's not an option. All right. I guess let me be productive here quickly. Today's show also brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Columbia, and Frederick. Helping men reclaim their game, whether it's performance issues in the bedroom, stubborn belly fat, whether you're maybe dealing with just feeling sluggish and run down. They've got you covered. Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, 443-264-4454. In Columbia, 443-266-3505. In Frederick, 240-931-3717. Get your complimentary testosterone test by going to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. BMW Championship gets underway tomorrow. Of course, you can get out there today. The Pro-Am was this morning. at Caves Valley. Joining us now to tell us a little bit more from the Golf Channel and NBC, he is Steve Sands, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Steve, it's Glenn. It's always good to catch up. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
My pleasure, Glenn. Always great to be back in the great state of Maryland.
I remember that you were bullish. I know, for those that don't know, Steve is from the D.C. area, so this is essentially like a home game for him this weekend. I remember you were pretty bullish when we talked after the last time the BMW was here about how it held up, about how the players enjoyed it. What is different this time around? Have they done anything in an attempt to lower scoring at Caves Valley, or were they good with that part of it?
No, the membership didn't love the fact that they went so crazy deep. But you got to remember, these guys are the best players in the world. They're the 50 best players in the world. Only 50 guys here, actually 49. Sepp Straka withdrew. So it's about 49 of the greatest players on the planet. It's a different sport than the membership plays that we play. Same game, but different sport. And they attacked the golf course the last time it was here. They've made some changes, Glenn. They made it a little bit tougher. They've also changed the par from 72 to 70. So instead of 4 par 5s, there will be 2 par 5s for the pros. And that should change the scoring quite a bit. I would think the scoring would be somewhere in the mid to high teens.
Okay. Instead of
so 14 to 19 under par as opposed to, say, 24, 25, 26 under par.
But as you pointed out then, it did seem like the players enjoyed the experience. It didn't seem like there was a lot of negativity from the people involved. Clearly, you're back, right? It didn't seem like, outside of what you pointed out about the members at Caves, there was much negativity about it the last time.
Oh, not at all. The players loved it. Players loved being here. They're staying downtown at the Pendry for the most part and having a great time in Baltimore. The crowds are incredible here. Anytime you take a PGA Tour event to a market that doesn't normally have a PGA Tour event, and especially in a great sports town like Baltimore, the fans are going to show up. The players absolutely loved it. The officials loved it. BMW clearly loved it. They just went, a little bit deeper under par than perhaps, some of the people at Caves would have liked. But that's neither here nor there. The big thing is everybody loved the experience here, and they're back for a reason. And I think it's going to be even better this year.
All right, so the storylines going into this week, it's rare that the biggest storyline would be about a loser, but that's sort of where we are with Tommy Fleetwood after what happened last week. How do you explain this, Steve? We know he's a hell of a player. It's one thing when a guy is struggling to win a major championship. That has happened a lot, but how do you explain someone this talented that hasn't been able to break through?
It's almost impossible to understand. It's impossible to fathom how it's all taken place. Tommy is, first and foremost, a great guy, a wonderful, nice, intelligent, congenial guy, and everyone's rooting for him to win. I don't know whether he chokes down the stretch, can't handle the heat, or just gets beat. Because sometimes in sports, you lose, and sometimes you get beat. You tip your cap, and you walk away. That's the way it works in sports. The other day was on him. Earlier this summer, the Travelers Championship, that was on him as well. The scar tissue is starting to build up. It's supposed to get easier for the guys the more they put themselves in the position to get that win. But I also think that the more you put yourself in that position, sometimes the tougher it gets, especially when you've never gotten across the finish line. So, hopefully Tommy gets it done sometime soon, and this course would be a perfect one for him. So, he's a tremendous player, and he knows how to win worldwide. He knows how to succeed in the Ryder Cup. He just hasn't won yet in the U.S. on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, that'd be an amazing story if that were to play out that way. Steve Sands from the Golf Channel and NBC with us here on GCR as we're talking about the BMW Championship. Steve, I guess the other question becomes, as we go through storylines, only 30 players will move on to the next round, in the final round. So who in that group to you is most interesting of needs to have a strong week this week to make sure they're playing next week?
I would think probably the biggest name, who played their way in and is still trying to advance is Ricky Fowler.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Rose got that win. He solidified his position for next week at the Tour Championship. But, coming into this week, you just never know from 70 to 50, from now 50 to 30. But I would say the biggest name is probably Ricky Fowler. I also think that there's some other things going on with the Ryder Cup.
Right.
The top 6 players will be solidified this week. The next 6 will be selected by Captain Keegan Bradley after next week's Tour Championship. So a guy like Cameron Young, who is from New York, who just got his first win 2 weeks ago in Greensboro, who's playing some outstanding golf. If he has a big week here this week in Baltimore, I think Cameron Young has a great chance to make that Ryder Cup team.
Now, can you follow up, Steve? Because I remember there being some controversy about, like, does Keegan Bradley pick himself? Like, how does that work? Can you explain that to dumb guys like me that aren't following from week to week how much of a story that is?
Well, if you're dumb, I'm the biggest dummy in the world, so I don't want to hear it. So Keegan Bradley's the captain. There are 6 players who will qualify for the team on points, and then there are 6 captain's picks. You can pick whoever you want. Well, he's got to win this season. He's a defending champion, by the way, of the BMW Championship. He also has a win this season. That came when he beat Tommy Fleetwood at the end in Connecticut at the Travelers Championship earlier this summer. He's a top 12 player in the world. He's right there as far as getting selected. If he wasn't the captain, he would be an automatic selection. 100% would be a captain's pick. But because he's the captain, he kind of wants to be deferential to the guys who he thinks deserve it more to be on the team. But the 6 guys who qualify at the end of this week, Scotty Scheffler, J.J. Spawn, Xander Schauffele, those guys, they're going to tell Keegan, you have to select yourself because there's no way in the world you would ever leave a top 12 player off of your team just because you're the captain doesn't mean anything. He will be, I think, on the team, and I think he'll be a captain's pick. And I also think that he will be the first captain since 1968 and Arnold Palmer for the American side to be a playing captain in the Ryder Cup.
So that was the other question: is there wouldn't be a case of, hey, we need you to decide not to be the captain, hand off the captaincy, and we'll get you next time, anything like that?
No, I wouldn't be like that. The problem, they wouldn't hand away the captaincy. He might not select himself because he just doesn't want to select himself. But I think the other guys are going to put pressure on him to make sure that he's a captain's pick because he's one of the 12 best players in the United States. And you should not leave yourself off the team just because you're trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. Now, he might pick himself, and if he does pick himself, he might choose to – you don't have to play in the Ryder Cup until Sunday singles. You don't have to play Friday morning, Saturday morning, Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. So he might pick himself and just say, you know what, I'm going to be a captain the first 2 days, and I'll play on Sunday. But there are a lot of scenarios taking place, but I think he will be a captain's pick, and I think it's going to be really cool for Keegan and also for the United States team.
Just another minute or two here with Steve Sands, Golf Channel and NBC. Steve, there's a part of me, somebody said, hey, who do you like this weekend? Well, it's Scotty Scheffler's playing golf, so I just think I like him, right? Because he just seems to win most of these things. But knowing what you know, who do you think, given their game, given the course, like who are some players that you most have your eye on going into this weekend?
Well, other than Scotty, who if he plays his A game, Scotty will win because he's that much better than everybody else right now. I think McIlroy is ready and rested to go. I think Scotty is ready to go. I'm a big believer in momentum. I think Justin Rose will continue to play well. I think Tommy Fleetwood will bounce back and play well. Perfect golf course for him. I think Cameron Young is a guy to look out for this week. I think so many players, when you get to this point, you're talking about 49 guys. You're talking about the 49 best players on the planet. And any of these guys can win. They didn't get here by accident. But I would say those 4 or 5 guys in particular would be the guys I would look at the most.
You brought up like Rory. Like, I know that there was a lot of rumblings about him not playing last week, and it seems like there's sort of been a weird year with a couple of guys in the media. Can you explain? Is that a big deal that Rory didn't play last week? Are certain people making too much of that?
No, I think it's a huge deal, and I don't think it's Rory's fault. I don't think he should be criticized. I think it should be the PGA Tour who should be criticized. You cannot allow. Imagine the Ravens not getting a bye week and just saying, you know what, we're not going to play the wild card weekend. We're just going to skip over to the divisional round and still be eligible to win the Super Bowl. I mean, you can't have that in sports. And I know that's the rule right now, and that's a loophole, and you're allowed to do it. And I do not blame Rory for it. I do not blame Sepp Straka, this week for not being here, and he's eligible to play next week, and I fully think he's going to be playing next week. But you cannot have a playoff system and have a guy be allowed to skip one of the events and still be eligible to win it all. Again, I don't think it's Rory's fault. I think it's the system's fault, and I think it needs to get fixed.
I appreciate that. What can we get back at Caves Valley? What could be next? Like what we're so excited about this. It's so good for our community. What could be on the docket in the future for Caves?
Oh, I think that Caves could host anything. I think Baltimore and the city and the infrastructure here can host any event in golf. I think a Ryder Cup could be here. I think a President's Cup could be here. I think a PGA Championship could come here for sure. I don't think a U.S. Open would come here, but I don't think they would because they're more on the traditional side, right. And the event goes to certain places, that kind of thing. Yep. But I think a PGA Championship could be here, absolutely a Ryder Cup or a President's Cup, and certainly another BMW Championship as well.
The idea of a Ryder Cup is pretty exciting. Could you imagine what they would have to do to the golf course to try to make it for the U.S. Open? That would be
amazing.
Nice.
It would be so good.
Oh man, Steve Sands, what all can we plug for you, sir?
Nothing. I got nothing. I'm here in Baltimore, back home in Maryland, and looking forward to a great week.
Man, really appreciate you squeezing us in this morning. Looking forward. I'm going to be out there tomorrow. I'll try to come say hello at some point. Steve Sands, thank you for taking the time for us. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Please do. Come by the booth and say hi anytime.
Will do. Steve Sands, Golf Channel, NBC, with us here on GCR as we get ready for the BMW Championship tomorrow. Well, a Ryder Cup. Look, I'm not a big golf person, but, that'd be cool. That would be dope. To take nothing away from this, because I think this is great. And I've told you a million times, this isn't me I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a big golf person, but I went the last time. And then after I went and hung out for the day, I found myself glued to Patrick Cantlay and Bryson DeChambeau on Sunday. I wasn't there on Sunday. I went on Saturday. I love this. I think it's tremendous. I would never, unless I was required to, I'd never be the person that could do all 4 rounds. But I dig it. For a day, I think it's awesome. And the weather's pretty favorable this weekend, too. Another good reason to come play Slip Cup. Just pointing that out. But yeah, I dig it, and hope you'll get out to Caves Valley at some point this weekend. All right, let's quickly go over Would You Rather Wednesday. Number 1, would you rather the Baltimore Ravens sign Brandon Sheriff, who remains unsigned and available today? They make the move and immediately install him as their right guard, or they stick it out with what they're doing in order to keep the cap space and the flexibility should they want to make a trade at the deadline. Griffin, I'll start with you. Actually, you know what? Trevor has to pretend that he's a Ravens fan in order to have this. This makes it difficult. Although you have seen a lot of Brandon Sheriff in your life.
Yes, I have.
You are familiar with him. So you have to pretend like you care about the Ravens in order to answer this question. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about it that way. If you were the Ravens, which would you do?
Honestly, I would save the cap space, I would say. Just because, I don't think that right guard position is a dire need. But if it's a midseason trade that they need the cap space for, I think that's going to be more of an urgent move, if that makes sense.
Let me let Griffin explain his answer.
I'm leaning towards do it.
Okay.
Just because, we are looking at this team, and it's there's what holes. It's what we just talked about with Evan. It's
but by the trade deadline, there could be an injury that could create
that's what I was thinking.
A hole.
I don't know. I'm trying to pull up Sheriff's grades just to see what he was.
I pulled
the
up.
last couple
I was
years.
looking at his cap. I think his cap figure last year was about $10 million. The Ravens right now have $17 million in cap space. You need to keep a certain amount of money for street free agents during the course of the year because inevitably guys are going to get hurt, and you just need to put somebody on the roster at that point.
How much cap space do they have right now?
About I just said that. About $17 million.
Seems like a lot.
It seems like a lot, but you have to have a functional $5 to $10 million for street free agents during the course of the year. Guys are going to get hurt. You're going to have to sign someone, and
I know. Well, what is the contract for Sheriff going to look like? is it gonna?
You're trying to do the thing where you can have it both ways. I'm telling you that
I
for
am,
Would You Rather
yeah.
Wednesday, either you're doing Sheriff and it takes you out of the running for anything notable at the deadline, or
What notable? What are they? I mean, yeah, I guess anything can change. Like all of a sudden, Puka Nakua's demanding a trade, and then
one of their receivers is hurt. That's the because right now you'd say we don't really need a wide receiver. You've got the wide receivers, but what if one of them gets hurt?
I mean, I'm still gonna say sign him now. Let's make this offensive line. Let's make this offense literally impossible to stop while we can. Like, why not? Why not?
Our number one friend.
Worry about the other stuff later.
Sure. Our number one frenemy, Rob Shields, points out. Sorry, I want to make sure I read this right. Any move now would be better than one at the deadline. And what he's attempting to point out is that, like, the deadline tends to be a lot of bluster. Like, we get very excited about what it could be, and normally...
Like, we were excited about Deontay Johnson.
We were legitimately, we thought Deontay
we were
Johnson...
Like, oh, my God.
And ironically, of course, we were not at all excited about... oh, God, who was the cornerback they brought in that I've already forgotten?
Oh, yeah, Trey White.
Trey White. Yeah, we were not at all. And Tre'Davious White was actually helpful. Whereas Deontay Johnson was the opposite of that. He was determinedly not helpful. So, like, every year we go through this bluster of, like, oh, could this guy be moved? Could this guy be moved? Could this guy be moved? And, look, the NFL trade deadline has certainly become more significant than it was, 15 years ago. But it still tends to disappoint you in the actual, like, you convince yourself that you're getting Joey Bosa, but Joey Bosa was never actually available. It's like that version of Yannick Ngakoue is what's really available. Like that's the way that it tends to go. So I understand that argument. But I then default to, when I make this decision, the way that I feel about the Ravens in the guard position, which is I don't think it's make or break, and B,
unless it's Marshall Yana coming in, like, what's the point?
Well, I just tend to think the Ravens will figure out guard. I just
you're right.
do. Like
I think you're also right. But, like, if this is screaming them at him in the face, and it's like this is the one spot that
I understand, but in this binary, either you can make a move now or make a move at the deadline. I'm far more concerned about, like, what if Ronnie Stanley gets hurt.
Then Fale's playing tackle anyway, but, like, then you're really effed.
My issue is I want to have that option.
I will take the O-line. Like, they don't have no line depth right now.
I think you can get a Brandon Scherf caliber player at the deadline if necessary. I would.
I know. I mean, it's not like
rather not pigeonhole myself.
His PFF grades, for what it's worth. I mean, he hasn't been anything.
Yeah, he was really good a few years ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 60s the last 3 years. So.
All right. I mean, sounds like you kind of got Brandon Sheriff at home, doesn't it?
It does. But even so, outside of it sounds like after yesterday, Corey Bullock is like the best.
He's in the conversation.
The best backup, the sixth offensive lineman.
We're probably overreacting to somebody saying something.
Sure,
That's where you're doing the training camp bit. Like Corey Bullock might be in the roster conversation right now, but let's ease up on
who's the sixth offensive lineman?
Right now,
yeah.
I guess it's a fair question because by default, because of experience, it's Ben Cleveland.
Yeah,
right.
Like
because he's played, because he's like these rookies.
So Falele becomes your sixth offensive lineman, and that doesn't make you feel that much better. But he's played a full season and shown that he is durable and he can play multiple positions.
What if what you need is a cornerback? What if that's what you need?
Then go get the cornerback.
But you can't. I'm saying you can't do that if you make the Brandon Sheriff.
They traded what? Patrick Owasso.
I'm telling you,
years back.
You're not listening to me.
Simpson
you get to pick one or the other. Just one or the other. That's it.
I'm signing Sheriff. That's my answer.
There you go.
That's fair.
There you go. Number 2. Would you rather? You might not be familiar with this, Trevor. The Orioles have not. They don't have a walk-off win all season. It's remarkable.
Wow.
It seems almost impossible. They were like 12 feet away from getting one last night, but they have not recorded a walk-off win all year.
Who needs them?
Part because they haven't won many games this year. Would you rather bet $100 to win $10,000?
Yes.
That the Orioles will have a walk-off win before the season is over, or I'd prefer not to light that $100 on fire.
How many games are left?
How many home games do the Orioles have left?
I'll tell you what. Take that $100.
Nope.
Put it on the Indiana under 8.5.
Nope. Under a win total?
Yeah.
It's 8.5,
Yes.
really? You know, I might be with you on
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I mean, regression
1,
is going
2,
to hit
3, 4,
hard.
5. Who's their quarterback?
I don't know.
10,
I'm locking the under. on
11,
that.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 23 home games remaining for the Baltimore Orioles.
I'm not doing it.
You're not doing
No.
it. You think
Yeah, I
they'd be
would,
lighting $100 on fire.
Yeah, I think so.
The problem is, as a lot of people pointed out, the odds are so good that if you're a bettor, you've definitely wasted the $100 in worse ways.
They got this kid that transferred from Cal.
Mendoza?
Yeah, Mendoza.
Oh, he's a nice
Anna
player,
Mendoza.
actually. Oh, I don't know. I don't. Who's on their schedule? Because their schedule was very favorable last year.
Oh, that is true. They don't have a good schedule.
That's part of the
a tough schedule,
conversation for me this year.
They got all right. So they'll start 3-0. They got ODU, Kennesaw State, Indiana State.
Oh, how dare you say that about whether the Sycamores?
Illinois.
Like, this could be the Sycamores.
Illinois is going to be really good this year.
Illinois is going to be good this year. That's
at
true.
Iowa. At Oregon.
Ooh.
Oh.
Michigan State's going to be better this year.
Yeah.
That they get Michigan State at home though.
Right.
They get UCLA at home. Then they're at Maryland, the dungeon.
That's a loss. Yeah, obviously.
In the shell.
At Penn State.
I mean, I think Penn State's the better team there, but you just
Penn State's
never
the better
know.
team there.
Yeah.
Then they host Wisconsin. Billy Edwards in
Okay.
Wisconsin. And then they're at Purdue.
So they avoid Ohio State and Michigan.
They got Roman Hemby at running back. So.
Running back, yeah. I don't know if I'm. 8.5.
I'm saying, all right. So Oregon,
Yeah,
and
like
Penn
because
State
this is
are
the world.
losses.
Right.
Illinois.
There's a crapshoot, and
Illinois
where's
is a
the other
crapshoot.
one?
And then at Iowa and Michigan State is the one I'm also looking at.
I might not be able to join you on this. I like Mendoza a lot.
I wouldn't lock the under. I'll take
Yeah.
that back.
I don't. I like
Taking it,
Mendoza.
taking it.
I'm a Francisco Mendoza guy.
Anyway, no, I'm not betting that money on the Orioles. God no.
There's a part of me that wants to say like I've got no other reason to watch the team, so this
10
would give me a
grand.
reason to watch the team. My God, the
How
number
many
of
home games they have?
the number of I just did the. What show is he listening to?
23.
We just counted them.
And who do they play? That matters too.
Yeah, except for like
They got 4 against Houston.
You can run into one by luck. Last night they were this close to running
Yeah,
into
you
one
think
by
they're gonna come
luck.
close again against Seattle the next 2 days?
I don't know.
No, they're not.
I think I'm making the
They've
bet.
got 8 games against Houston and Boston. They're both pretty good right now. Dodgers, Pirates at home. So they got 3 at home against the Pirates.
Yeah, but they might win those games. Well, they might not. I'll take that back immediately.
I don't know, maybe we'll get Skeens one of those nights.
Yeah.
And then they got 7 more against New York, the Yankees, and the Rays.
All right. And number 3, would you rather? Do you have the news clip that I sent you? There was a story this week that's a bit alarming, courtesy of the BBC.
EasyJet has suspended one of its captains after he was reportedly seen roaming a hotel drunk and naked. The unnamed pilot was seen walking through a 5-star resort in Cape Verde without any clothes on in the early hours of the morning on 5th of August, after a drinking session at the bar, which began shortly after he arrived, according to The Sun. The newspaper reported that hotel guests saw him strip off and wander into the reception before moving on to the gym and spa. He was meant to operate a return flight to Gatwick more than 36 hours later, but was grounded after the airline received complaints about the incident. An EasyJet spokesman told the BBC the pilot now faces an investigation and that the safety of passengers and crew was its highest.
All right. So that part, actually, I got a little bit more information than the initial reports had said. Oh, the idea that this guy was just suspended was wild to me, right? Like, yeah, he's drunk and naked walking around, but I don't know. Maybe seems like a nice guy. Let's give him a second chance, man. What are we doing here? So would you rather, number 3, your next flight, you are stuck next to 400-plus pound Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive tackle and Florida Gators legend Desmond Watson. You want to put a picture of Desmond Watson up for everybody to see? Desmond Watson is a big boy. Apparently got up to as high as 465 pounds. But reports were they made him lose some weight going into training camp. He's not that big, but he's still a big fella. You're stuck next to him, not in first class. I have had a couple people attempt to ask this question. Hey, is this flight to Tampa or to Tokyo? Split the difference. It's a long flight, but not an international flight. We'll call it Vegas, right? Like, you're flying to Vegas next to Desmond Watson, so about 5 hours next to Desmond Watson. Or your next flight is the 3rd flight back from suspension for this guy. Now, originally I was going to make it the first flight back, but I realized the first flight back, he's going to be on his best behavior. He's going to be minding his P's and Q's. There's going to be a lot of attention paid to it, so we're not doing the first flight back. We're doing the third flight back.
You're saying once he's got whatever was in his system back in his system.
We're not telling you anything. You're taking the risk.
Back to his old ways.
Do you want your next flight to be next to Desmond Watson for 5 hours, or with old drunky McNakedface?
Is that his name? That was his name?
I believe that's what did they have the name in the report? I don't think there was a name in the report. I think because they're
the name, shouldn't we?
under investigation. Old drunky McNakedface is your pilot on his third flight back. Trevor, which would you rather?
I would say that pilot, honestly. I have faith that he learned his lesson.
You think
through
he
his
learned
suspension.
his lesson?
How long was the suspension?
We don't know. That's the problem.
Okay. I think he learned his lesson.
You think he learned his lesson?
Desmond Watson could be a cool guy, but there's no avoiding that flight is going to be uncomfortable.
It's going to be extraordinarily uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Extraordinarily. I was next to, on a flight from San Jose recently, I would say 320, maybe 310 pound man.
Sumo wrestler?
Not a sumo wrestler, just a big guy. A big guy.
Lot of weight.
And, I was, it was tight. It was tight.
I still get to be next to a
But I didn't have to worry about dying.
NFL player.
There is that.
I mean, this guy's not going to die. This guy's not going to kill us either. He's clearly done this before and has got all his flights.
Yeah? You're ready.
Safely.
You're ready to take those odds?
No.
Yeah.
I'll sit next to Desmond.
You're sitting next to Desmond Watson.
Yeah.
I don't know what the correct answer is to this question. I really don't. I think you're right. Like, what really are the odds
honestly,
that the guy's going to
all
be...
that really matters, has this pilot been banned on any dating apps? Do we know?
Why are we concerned about that?
Well, I mean, because is he like a good is he a weird guy? Like that's all. Can he communicate with his co-pilot? That's really all.
Yeah, but if he's the one flying the plane at the moment,
this is all everything Nathan Fielder looked into on the rehearsal.
Oh God, you of course you want to dive six step deeper into this. God, you suck. Get your responses in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. I've tried. It is.
Then just watch season 2, I guess. I mean,
I've tried.
He's like talking to these pilots, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I've been banned from like 8 dating apps," and he's like, "How?" He's like, "I don't know. They don't like me."
I got a lot of questions
he's
about
that
too.
He's like a commercial pilot.
I got a lot of questions.
Probably don't want to
that
disclose that.
Yeah, right. All right, get your responses in, and somebody's winning. You got to get them in by 4. Somebody's winning a pair of tickets to tomorrow's Orioles-Mariners game just for participating in Would You Rather Wednesday. Quickly, Griffin, you want to show everybody the new print issue of Press Box?
I'd love to.
Just delivered here to the office. Trevor, can you hold that up to the camera if you don't mind? That's your camera over there. That's the new print issue of Press Box. It's now available, or it's starting to be available today. It's rolling out. It will be available throughout the course of today. If you don't get it today, stop by tomorrow or Friday. It'll be at every newsstand by Friday, including Royal Farm stores. You can always read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. Bo Smolka's got a great cover story about Derrick Henry this month. And also inside this new print issue of Press Box, a lot of college football. Meet players from the D1 programs throughout the course of the state. Other fall sports coverage. Trevor, did you have anything in the print issue of Press Box?
No, not this time.
What was it? Did you have something in the last one?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I do. Can I plug myself real quick?
Sure.
I do have a story about Charlie Serrato, who's from Falston.
Yes.
Who's now
Vinny
playing.
Serrato's son, yep.
Yes. Yeah, he's now playing hockey at Penn State. Got drafted by the Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a little bit of delay on that story. It was like considered for print, but got delayed a little bit. But that's a pretty cool story. So
that's available now at PressBoxOnline.com.
Yes.
Everybody can go check that out and go get this print issue of PressBox. You can read it as well at PressBoxOnline.com.
It's very, very purple.
It is
very purpley.
There was some debate about that. I like the purple cover.
I like it too.
I like the purple cover. We had thought about going with a gray cover. I liked it purple. I think it looks good.
Who said gray?
We'll talk about that off the air. We'll come back in. We'll get a tidbit. We'll get 2-bit or wind things down for what was supposed to be an hour edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here as we wind things down for a Would You Rather Wednesday edition. Don't forget the Maryland 5-Star returns this October to Fair Hill in Cecil County. Maryland5star.us with the number 5 in order to get your tickets. Our guy, Dan the Chef, he does What If the Pilot is Naked on the Flight?
Then I think that means he'd be like pretty comfortable, right?
I think that's. I guess my
He's
thought
probably
would
gonna
be
in his
right.
zone.
Like,
he's
yeah,
gonna fly that plane well.
And you don't go into the. Oh, I was gonna make a cockpit joke. You see where I was?
Yes, yeah.
Like, you don't have to go into the cockpit.
What if that's what he's saying? And he's like, anybody want to join me in the cockpit?
I'm picking Desmond Watson.
God, man, I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing at cockpit in this particular scenario.
That's weird. That's what we called my dorm room.
That was what they called it. The frat house was the cockpit. Ladies, welcome to the cockpit, and then they all leave immediately. You're just looking around. You're like, wow, it really is just dudes. That's the reason why they called it the cockpit. It was only ever dudes. Only ever a bunch of dudes hanging out. You walk in. By the way, at some point in your life, you get over that. Like, at some point in your life, you start having that feeling of, like, maybe it's better if it's just dudes. Like,
always has been.
Maybe. Yeah, right. Like, somebody asked, I swear to God, it used to be the way that people would ask me about it for the pig roast. Now we're like, we don't even ask if there are girls playing. We're like, we don't care. We're all married. Like, we don't give a rat's ass about that. What is that going to do for us? I mean, not to say that you're not welcome, ladies. By all means. Happy to have you.
Yeah.
I do hear this every year. Oh, dude, I'd love to come to that sometime. I'm telling you, if you're regular with us, you're invited. But I'm not just going to, like, announce what my address is.
Go for it.
You just need to message me and say, hey, man, I'd love to come out to the party. And, you know, if I know you, like if you've interacted with us, then 100% we'd love to have you. If you're a weirdo, if you're somebody I've never met before, probably not the case.
No weirdos around
But
here.
yeah, we do a different bit here. We have this kind of this thing of ours, La Cosa Nostra, if you will. And if you're part of it, if you're one of us, we genuinely would like to have you on Saturday. So please hit me up and we'll get you there. All right, can we wrap up? Can we wrap up?
Yeah.
All right.
We want to watch any of the Ravens jump in the swimming pool or not?
Oh, give me any one clip of. Was that for today on the day? Did they put the coverage on today, or were they taping that for a future date? I don't know.
I don't know. They posted something else, like the Twitter account.
Like Craig Melvin was there doing stuff for the Today Show. They tape it all at Loyola. Oddly, it wasn't at the Ravens pool. It was at Loyola's facility.
I liked the one where Roquan Smith was just getting dragged around the pool.
Oh yeah, he was like doggy paddling.
Yeah, so that was.
That was from Ryan Mink, I think.
Yes, it was. This is all courtesy of Ryan Mink here. And yeah, Roquan Smith. He was just on his back, and they were just like, trying to get him used to kicking his legs and
look, man,
dragging him across the pool.
A bit beyond the content of it all, I remember this being a story about the Celtics the year that both it was Taco Fall, and who was the really short player that was on the Celtics roster at the same time?
Carson Edwards.
Carson Edwards. I think both of them were learning how to swim at the exact same time, which created these wonderful images. I love the idea of it's crazy to us to think of someone being an adult and not being able to swim, right? But some of these guys, that's all they've ever done is football, and they don't live near a beach, so they didn't come from a place where they had a lot of money. There weren't public pools. There are plenty of adults that don't know how to swim. I've said before, I can swim, but I'm not a strong swimmer. I probably wouldn't be the right person for this.
This courtesy of the Ravens, Tyler Linderbaum just backflopped.
No, the backflop. Yeah, I did see that yesterday. But if there are guys that genuinely don't know how to swim, this is great. You absolutely have them, learn how to swim, and the fact that Michael Phelps is there is neat. It's fun. There's no negative to it. Fun thing for them to do, and I would absolutely encourage more and more adults. I think there's a stigma and a shame that comes with that. You get to adulthood and you didn't know how to. Dude, I remember being in 5th grade. This is a straight shoot.
We're seeing Travis Jones with all the floaties around his legs, so he doesn't.
Oh yeah,
as he jumps in.
Pool noodles and. I got to 5th grade, and as part of 5th grade in Baltimore County, you had to do a mandatory week of swimming at Essex Community College, and I at that point genuinely did not know how to swim. It just wasn't my. I mean, I say I didn't know how to swim. I didn't swim. I guess I knew how to swim, but I was not a swimmer. If we went to a pool, I just stayed in the shallow end. I was like, oh, I don't need to go do that stuff, and it was embarrassing for me. Because, I wanted to get on the diving board, but I didn't trust that I could swim. So it was a very good week for me because, legitimately, I went from barely being able to swim to, being able to get on the diving board when I was in 5th grade. So, yeah, I'm all for let's not make it a stigma. Let's do everything we can to encourage people to learn how to swim. And the Ravens players genuinely learn how to swim. I think that's a great thing. Very cool. Neat. I mean, does it help them win the Super Bowl? Probably not. Probably not at all. But, sure, by all means. All right, let's get a tidbit.
Let's do because they
took 3 days for us to do a 2-hour show again.
Justin Verlander reached the 3,500 strikeout milestone over the weekend. 10th player to join the 3,500.
You're not doing all 10.
Then name the top 5.
Nolan Ryan.
He is number 1.
Walter Johnson.
Walter Johnson is not in the top 5. He's 9th.
Wow.
Verlander will pass him. He's 6 behind Walter Johnson.
How about Randy Johnson?
Randy Johnson is number 2.
Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens is number 3.
Steve Carlton.
Steve Carlton's number 4.
Oh. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm just gonna name guys, and I know they're not right. Tom Seaver.
Not Tom Seaver. Seaver's 6.
Don Sutton.
Don Sutton's 7th.
Oh, come the
So we're gonna name all. We're gonna name the top 10 here.
Maddox.
No, not Maddox. Maddox is 12th. He was a
Negro.
No, not Negro.
Gaylord Perry, Bob
nope.
Gibson,
Gaylord Perry's
Bob
in the top
Feller.
10 you got everyone except for this guy.
Jesus Christ.
He was a Twin. He was a
Jack Morris.
Then a Cleveland baseball player. He was Pittsburgh stopping.
Burt Blyleven.
Yes, Blyleven.
All right. Very good.
Those are your top
Thanks
10
for your help
strikeouts.
on that, by the way, Trevor.
Appreciate
that. Dynamite tapping. Dynamite stuff. They don't call him the best color analyst in baseball for nothing. All right, let's get tubular.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control, it's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever ask me about is football.
All right, here's what's coming up tonight. Just basically the Orioles, unfortunately. Sorry. Wish I had better news for you. 6:35 on Masson, Mariners, Orioles, Logan Gilbert, Trevor Rogers, everything else. Go to GlennClarkRadio.com. I mean, it's just that bad. Cincinnati Open does continue today. There was some rain out yesterday, so they didn't get everything in. Also, it was a bummer because there were 2 different walkovers. Like both Coco Gauff and Iga Swiatek both got walkovers yesterday because players, I think Kostyuk and Kazakina, I believe, dropped out. So Matty Keys playing against Rybakina today. That's a big one. That's definitely worth paying a little attention to. And what else is happening today? I don't remember. What else is happening today.
Netflix has a R-rated animated movie called Fixed coming out. So it's a dog who figures out he's about to get neutered. And the dog is voiced by Adam Devine, and he goes on like a 24-hour bender.
All right, I hate the fact that I'm interested, but I am kind of interested.
Idris Elba's in it, Bobby Moynihan, Fred Armisen, Catherine Hahn, Beck Bennett. These are the voices that you'll hear in Fixed.
Bobby Moynihan and Edie Patterson did a thing for Last Week Tonight this week. It was pretty funny. Making fun of Chuck Schumer.
How about John Cena and Jesse Tyler Ferguson? What are they plugging on Fallon?
They are plugging a Spade or whatever the hell this thing.
Fixed.
They're plugging Fixed.
Spade.
Yeah, whatever the hell that is. Everything else, GlennClarkRadio.com. Trevor, remind people how they can follow you on social.
Trevor A. Gomez on Twitter.
Oh, I think I called you Trevor Gomes. It's Gomez? Now I feel like a jerk.
You know,
now I feel like a jerk.
I've said that name several different ways in my life.
But it's your name.
But
you need to.
That's the thing, though. It's like a controversy in my family. How you say it, we don't know, because it could be Gomez.
What do you prefer?
Gomez.
You just said Gomez. So I'm assuming that.
But it's different every time. Whichever you want to say.
This drives me.
Yeah,
nuts,
you could say
man.
that.
As a broadcaster, it drives me crazy because I'm like, how to pronounce your name? I don't really care. It's your name.
Gomez.
Pick it.
All right,
there we go. That's my pick. Gomez.
And
then Trevor. I think also Trevor A. Gomez on Instagram. So those 2.
Thank you for all your hard work this semester.
Thank
Very
you.
much appreciate it. Best of luck. Be in touch. And again, don't forget, no one leaves empty-handed. On top of that football done, we also have a T-shirt for you.
Ooh.
Get 'em,
Nice.
as long as there's still T-shirts in
I
that.
believe there
All right, great. We've also got to go get him a T-shirt. Go get him one. All right. Thanks today to Steve Sands. Thanks also to Evan Washburn. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Tomorrow, TNA star Macklin's going to be stopping by the studio as they're in town this week.
And
boy, stuff and things. Big day. Big day. Thanks, everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Game Day Men's Health, the Maryland 5-star live casino and hotel. Always the best place to watch all the big events. 100-foot media wall inside sports and social live casino and hotel. The BMW Championship, helpmygamblingproblem.org. Costa San Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday night. Go Birds. Duke sucks.